Hello, and thank you for joining me for part 2 of my series on background dyes. I might have called it something different in my title. I've been kind of recording and creating all over the place and just been really busy and really enjoying creative alone time. So this is my little series on making ombre cards, which kind of carries on with my ombre theme that I started a couple weeks ago. I've got these cards to share with you, as well as a tutorial for a few of them that I would love to share with you as to how I've made them. So to start, we'll start with these 3 here. So what you'll need is 3 sheets of cardstock, all the same color, just different shades, and a set of dies. I'm using these ones here from Alina Craft. They are all the same size, roughly, just different patterns on each die. So to get started, I've got this multi-matte medium from Ranger. I'm using this as my glue today. It's a nice, light, easy glue. Now I'm putting a blob down on my medium matte. However, I use about half of this. You really don't need much at all. I've got a little makeup sponge, which I bought from the pound shop. Get them in a little bundle. Really cheap, really easy to use for inking and applying glue. So all I'm doing is applying glue on the backs of my butterflies and just sticking them down. Each of these colors I die cut out once out of my set of dies. I've left them all stuck together and die cut them all out. And this is one set for each, or one die cut of each of the colors. I'm working on an Altenew mixed media matte. It's a nice silicone matte that wipes off quite easily. So all I'm doing is applying the glue and then sticking them down. I'm trying to kind of alter the direction I put them in every so often and kind of shift them a bit left to right. None of them are upside down, but I was trying to kind of make them a bit more random. And they're obviously poking off the edge, which I'll trim later. Now, with this mat, I'm just wiping off in between, so I'm kind of I'm gluing up my backs, and then I'm kind of moving where I position my butterfly so I can wipe off my surface and start again. So once I've finished, I take my long Tim Holtz scissors and just trim off those edges, and then I am going to trim it down a bit more. So this card is a standard front panel size of a bog standard UK size card, and I'm just trimming it down slightly so that it will fit on a backing bit of card and then go on the front of my card. So I've got my front panel, I'm making a second panel, and then that will go on to the front of my card. I've got this ATG gun, which I always forget I have, and it's a really cheap, efficient way of using double-sided tape. So I love this gun. And if you can buy in bulk, you can usually get the tape for quite cheap, and it just lasts so much longer than those little kind of tape runners, those mini ones. So I've got the matching ink pad here for the cardstock I've used, and I've got a little butterfly stamp from Stampin' Up. And I am just sticking a nice little image on the inside of my card and matting it on top of a piece of coordinating blue, which is the blue I used on the outside as well. And again, this is my envelope, just stamping on the front there with the envelope, and then adhering that to the inside of my card. So then once that's all in there, sorry, I have to flip it around so I can see it better when I'm putting it in, otherwise I go a bit wonky. I've then die cut the word Celebrate, which is a die from Alina's shop, and comes with a shadow die, which I have die cut out of vellum. Now it does look yellow, but that's because I've used a double-sided sticky sheet on the back of my vellum so that it's virtually invisible glue. So I stick that down on the front. I've got a whole bunch of these little sentiment strips, which are Tailored Expressions stamp set and dies, and I'm sticking a bit of Alina's foam tape on the back of there and sticking it down on the front of my card, and that finishes off this card. Now, to finish off these cards, I have done something slightly different on each of them. Again, these are the dies that I've used. They come all attached in one bundle when you get them, and you can obviously snip them apart and make them into individual butterflies. I love leaving them all together. I find that it's so satisfying to run this through and you immediately have 12 butterflies to work with. I messaged Alina once I did this tutorial and sent her pictures of what I created and said, is there any way that we could please have something really similar, but maybe with cars or with some detailed stitch stars, something where we could have multiples of something similar to this, and she said she would look into it and have a see if she could possibly make us up some dies so that we can do this kind of technique a bit more often. So on this pink one, let's start with that one. I used up this die that I've got here. This die here is from Desire by Crafter's Companion. So it's Crafter's Companion die. It's designed to be like a focal point on the card, or so you can do like a flip card. And I have just used it to do this little background here. So all I did was I die cut out a vellum, this circle, and used my double-sided adhesive sheets from Lena's shop to stick that on, and then I glued on with some liquid glue the Let's Celebrate in the same white cardstock as I've got there. Now, I also used one of my favorite flowers, which keep popping up. I've used up nearly all of them now. These are from AliExpress. They just seem to match everything I own. I obviously backed my card onto some pink cardstock. And then on the inside of my card, I did the same. I backed it again on the same cardstock with a layer for my sentiment or greeting. So I have to say, this is probably my favorite one. I absolutely love it. I'll probably make some more. It didn't take much time at all. And it was so, the result is so effective. And again, I have my matching sort of coordinating envelope to go with it. Now I've got this purple one here, which again, I've used the same Let's Celebrate die. If I can find these, I will link them down below. Everything I show you in my videos, I will always try and link for you. I'll try and find, remember where I got them from, and then include the links for you. I do want to say I do have a few affiliate links now on my YouTube channel. It has meant that I can actually earn a bit more of an income for my family, which means that this YouTube channel is well worth me doing, which I love doing. It means that I don't have to work more hours at my day job than I do, because this is bringing in some income to help pay bills. It also helps to cover all the supplies I use in the videos, and it keeps me going. And it is all thanks to you, because these links don't cost you anything more to use. They cost the exact same you would pay if you clicked and found your own way to get to the products. However, I get a small, usually quite small commission from various companies for showing you and taking the time to link them. It does take me hours to do it. I'm not good with technology. I have a few different sites that I've got to go to, and they're all different. And it's a bit painstaking to put in the affiliate links, but it does mean that I do get that small bit of commission. And when I say small, it is quite small. With AliExpress, it can be anywhere from, I think it's like 0.2% or 0.02%, is really small on some things, to 3% or possibly even 5%. So it's not a huge amount, but all those little things add up. And I just want to say thank you, because it does mean so much to me, and it is the most rewarding and amazing feeling to see this money come into my bank account, and just the sort of pride I feel from working so hard and creating these tutorials for you and getting that income. So I wanted to say and share that with you, because it is really difficult to sometimes fit these kind of things in, but I do want to be upfront and very honest, and share my exciting bit of life with you. So back to this card. On this one here, to finish it off, I added some random Nuvo clear drops around, the clear glittered Nuvo drops. I have one of these butterflies, which is from AliExpress. It's just a felt butterfly. And I've got the Let's Celebrate again in the exact same way I did the one before. And I did the inside the same as the front. I backed it with a layer of purple cardstock and a layer of white cardstock. And then I've obviously got a purple envelope, which it kind of bugs me because it doesn't fully match my card, but it's purple, so we're going to just roll with it. Now these two I had a lot of fun with. I used my ombre paper to die cut from, which I got from The Works here in the UK. And I absolutely love the end result. I'm not 100% sure whether I like that I backed it on the yellow one on this one. I think it looks quite good without having any backing on it, but I had to try it. So I've got my lollies and my ice creams. These are from Intricate, which is a Hobbycraft die. And they, as you can see, it's from Hobbycraft shop there. I bought these quite a long time ago. I'm not sure if they're still available. And they just look like this. So you get the two dies in that set. and I just die cut them out and stuck them on in a random array, and again trimmed off my edges so that they all kind of flowed onto my card. And then I added a couple strips. So I had a strip of the teal card with a little strip of gold, and then did the same on this side, but just kind of switched up where I positioned them. And then used my sentiment strips from Tailored Expressions again. On the inside, I did the same as the outside, and I layered it with yellow then white. And on this one, I just put a teal layer in. And I could go in and add a white layer, but I thought this was light enough that you could actually write in there. And I've been naughty and I've not done any envelopes with these ones yet. My plan, which I kind of forgot to do, was that I was going to try and die cut some foam from each of these and create my own little stamps. So I'll die cut it from some fun foam and then stamp my envelope with those homemade stamps. Now my last card is also one of my ultimate favorite cards that I've ever made. I love how this one turned out. I obviously did my happy birthday dies, which are from Alina's shop. I have these shadow dies, and with this being such a huge card, which it's 6 inches by 6 inches, I believe, or nearer to 6.5 inches, it meant that I could use the sentiment on the front of the card really easily. I just did the one layer of pink on top of some vellum, and then I used my homemade Wink of Stella, obviously, to make it all glittery. And I love how this turned out. I've used my pearlescent cardstock from Lime Tree Craft. All my white cardstock and most of my coloured cardstock has come from Lime Tree Craft, and I'll link that below. And I've got this cute little teacup stamp, which I stamped on the inside when I layered it with my pink cardstock again. And then this is what I chose as my envelope. I did have a silver envelope that was just big enough to fit this in, but I thought it would probably actually be a bit tight with all my layers on. So what I had was I accidentally bought these sort of paper food bags, and they came tied on a piece of string. I got them in craft cardstock and in white, and I got 100 of each. And what I thought I was ordering was something similar to these, where they're kind of like a little treat bag. And I thought I was ordering something like that was going to kind of come in a slightly, not sheen or shiny, but just like a slightly thicker material. It's very thin, and it was attached by like this piece of string, so it wasn't overly great. But I thought, actually, if I go and I fold this in and I tape that down with a bit of washi tape with my card in there, it works really nice as an envelope, and it helps me to use up my oopsie purchase. So I thought just being creative and using up what I've got would work really well. So just fold that over. I'm going to put a little bit of washi tape on there, or a sticker, and an address label, and I just think it just looks cute to me. I stamped a little image on it. It's stamped really easily because it's obviously thin paper. My only worry would be whether it might rip a little bit in the post, but it's not overly weak, and with that card in there, it'll probably stay quite strong. So that was my little envelope that I did for that one. So thank you so much for joining me. If you've stuck around for this long and you've got to the end of the video and you watched my last video, I did mention I would have a little something for you. So we have got 3 prizes for you today. I've got this die set here, which is from Alina Craft, and there are 3 of these available. So the first prize is this one here, just the die on its own. My second prize is the die with this Hello stamp set, which is from Capsule. Well, it's called Capsule. It's from the collection Capsule. And then my third one is another set of the dies with another stamp, as you can see here. And this one says Let's Celebrate, and it's a Dovecraft or Dovecraft stamp. So the rules for this giveaway are that you must comment on my video and say that you would like to be in the giveaway. The giveaway runs from Friday, June 5th until Friday, June 12th at 7 p.m. UK time. You will need to watch out for my giveaway video announcing who the winners are, and you will need to then follow my instructions in that video. So there'll be a separate video to tell you who's won, and you can go over there and see if you've won. That is all you need to do. You can enter from anywhere in the world. So thank you so much for joining me today. Good luck in my little competition giveaway, and keep safe, keep crafting. Bye.